Well, good morning internets, here we are. We have ourselves a start to another day. It's been already in progress for me for a couple hours, however, I thought I would grab my camera and share my thoughts with you guys. And yeah, welcome to our vlog, so here we go. Well, over the last couple of days, as mentioned in the other vlogs, I was working on a town route list for the big summer road trip that I want to do. Well, over the last few days I had found some more towns to add to the list, and I was going through adding them to the list and such, and it's kind of weird how some towns don't show up period at all, and then when you're zoomed in, if you want to say on the maps, lo and behold, here's this town that you never found before. So you search the town and you see that it has some interesting architecture or buildings, or maybe some sites in the town like a small museum or something that you may want to check out. It's kind of weird how it wasn't there on any list that I come across, or town list or anything, but yet I would have drove right past it, or possibly through it, or around it to get to the larger towns or larger areas that I was headed to. So I know it's another stop. I know it's going to take more time away from where I was headed, the destination, but at the same time, if you're down there, if you're pretty much there, you're not really making any special trips to get to the location. You're just driving by it or really close to it. Why not stop? It's full of historical things, natural wonders, or pieces of our past that, well, I would have never normally have got to experience, or probably still wouldn't have got to experience if I wouldn't take the time, and spend the resources to do it, right? So my list went from originally somewhere around 50 stops, and it went to like 70, then it went to 90, and now I did a count on it here last night, and I'm at 116, and that's not including the stops in the town that I'm stopping at. So that's just stopping at the town. So some towns or places have 1 or 2 stops in them. I have one that has 6 stops, so quite easily I probably could be at 130 so-called stops, including the things that catch my eyes along the road that I want to stop at that aren't really on the map or on a list of towns to check out. So the only concern I have is of running short on time, because there is some other events coming along later in the month that I go on, or the month after I go on, that I would like to be at. But if I plan the route just so, which I have, and if I run out of time at a specific point, giving a day or two to get back home, I should be able to carry on at my specific point that I left at a later date, whether it's next year or later on this summer, or see how it goes, right? It's going to be quite the adventure when I go this summer, quite the experience. Like I've said in other vlogs before, my life was central around here. I couldn't go far, mainly to do with work, the house, family commitments. Looking after a sick relative tends to anchor you to a certain point where you really can't go far without either taking them with you, which then you can't go far at all, or making arrangements for someone to look after them while you're gone, which is never the same as you looking after them yourself. So now that things have changed a lot, I no longer have to worry about some of those things like the house and things like that, and a guy can travel for the summer if he chooses. There was a time where I had planned to get some little shack apartment in the corner, like a room and board or some little crappy $600 a month apartment, and then I would travel from, you know, like April to October or so before getting another apartment for the winter. However, upon realization that the $650 apartments in this town, which are pretty much the cheapest, and even the room and boards have huge issues and stipulations that may or may not work well for my health and my lifestyle. The cheap apartments have huge issues. People get beat up, their apartments get broke into, they get knifed, taken out the garbage, the cops are always there. So yeah, I chose the one I chose. It's a little more a month, but it gives me the office, it gives me space to have my art studio and a few other things, and it is still not the most expensivest one by far in this town, and it is still within range of what I can afford each month. So we'll never know what the future holds. Maybe I will find a small little town of 30,000-40,000 people that I'm visiting that I actually like or fall in love with, and I'll want to move there. You never know, right? Maybe I'll find my future out there on the road somewhere, because my future is no longer here. There's nothing left here pretty much that that would keep me anchored to the town that I've lived in my whole life. So maybe out there is a new beginning. One never knows until they try. Whether they succeed or fail, the adventure and the experience will last a lifetime. But anyways, guys, gonna hit her on out here. Gotta stop by the pet store. Want to pick up a harness for the dog. I'm pretty sure she'll be okay, but you never know. You know, there will be other animals besides dogs that I have a chance running into, and I'm not 100% sure how she'll react to seeing a bear, or possibility of a wildcat or a fox or rabbit or something like that. Like, even though she's seen rabbits here and other dogs here, and she's curious and wants to go investigate, but I can't afford to lose her. And I can't afford to have her injured because she's trying to protect me from something. Because she is fairly protective of me, even from people and other animals. So I'll go pick me up a harness for her. I would like one with a handle on it, or some type of a, what do you want to call it, that I can grab at a moment's notice, just in case I have to pick her up. Whether it's to restrain her or to lift her if something is coming at her. But I guess it is what it is. We'll see what I can find in a round we roll, so we'll catch you all later. Well, hello internets, here we go. A little bit of a late afternoon update. Well, went out this morning, did some running around, washed the truck. It was, well, dusty from sitting, and dusty from being, dirty from being used, and things like that. I sure appreciate the ability to use the truck for the running around that I've been needing to have been done over the last, well, few weeks here. I went to the pet store, picked up a harness for the dog. However, the one that measured up to her, as in the measurements that I did, it did not fit. It acts like it's too big because I can't make it smaller, so therefore it must be too big. Because I can make it bigger, I just can't make it smaller. So I was sitting here trying to decide what to do, if I should staple it, glue it, nail it. you know, and my phone rings, and it's one of the companies over the last few weeks that I've been in contact with. And the job that I had asked them to do was done for approval before they finish it or start the final stage. So I went down there and looked at it, changed a couple of things, caught a couple of small spelling errors, which is no biggie at all, because, well, you know, autocorrect is autocorrect, right? And now they're going to send it away either for laser cutting, or they're going to do it in-house with the plasma cutter, I believe. And if that's the case, it'll be 3 days, but if they send it away, it could be 5, which seems already, because, you know, it's been 3 years in the making almost that I've been trying to get this done. And the next step is to decide what to do for finishing of it. I originally wanted it to rust up, look rustic, looked rough, looked like it was cut with an axe, or, you know, maybe slightly bent or warped. But these guys have done such a good job with their artwork, with their design, taking my original idea and changing it, even giving it shape versus it being just a rectangle plate, taking it to shape that that I can't just let it rust up. So once I get it back, if it's next week or so, I'll have to take it down to the paint shop and get them to do a really good paint on it. I would like it to be a automotive quality paint, some kind of paint that lasts, you know, 10-15 years, maybe 20 years before it starts to rust too terribly bad. What makes paint rust is the chipping and then getting salt in it. Well, with where this plate marker is located, there is going to be very nearly no salt at all, because it's a backcountry road. And the only way it's really going to be chipped is somebody with a shovel shoveling out the marker in the wintertime, or quite possibility the lawnmower from the groundskeeper throwing rocks or something. So I was kind of thinking possibility of a really dark blue for a color, or a dark black color, kind of similar to what the Silverado was, or the Sierra is, the Onyx Black 8555 paint code color. And then maybe, if they still make it or have it for availability, is something called metal flake, and then bury it with coats of clear or whatever. Because Dad, being an auto body technician from way back, he did paint jobs with metal flake. He did quite a few paint jobs with custom touches, and I remember one job he did was early 80s Cordoba. It was a silver car with 3 or 4 colors of metal flake in it, and it looked beautiful. I remember that. And he did other paint jobs with other colors of metal flake and other colors of fogging and like a lace effect and cobwebbing and stuff. He was just starting to get good at the metalwork of the aspect of the bodywork when he got sick, and just starting to understand the painting process and the what to combine and the primers and stuff for added effect in the customization process and stuff like that. And it's sort of a way to pay tribute to Dad, kind of remembering where he's been, but at the same time making something that'll last, hopefully outlast me. So you know, it only has to be done once. Originally it was going to be rusty and rustic and nasty. You know, something that maybe you were afraid to touch because you might get a tetanus shot, because Well, that's the kind of guy Dad was, right? He didn't want fancy, he didn't want granite, he didn't want marble or nothing. He just wanted plain Jane. That's why when I built him his urn, it was built in that style, not a fancy oak per se urn with, you know, someone paid $300, $400, $500 for. Same with a marble or granite urn. Hey, each to their own. You know, people have different choices that they want or what they want to do, and we're all different, right? Our loved ones leave us instructions that we try to follow the best we can, and sometimes we can make it happen, and other times we have to settle with a bit of an alternative, right? And when things change, we have to adapt to what they are and roll from there. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it works out, whether it's this month or next month or so. We'll try to get her through, try to finally get the promise I made to Dad fulfilled. And then that's kind of one of the last things that I have left to do from the old chapter per se. And then it's just moving on to the new chapter, proceeding with the new chapter that I've already started. But it is what it is, guys. Around we go. Gonna get on with the old evening, and we will catch y'all later. Well, hello internets, here we are. We come to the end of a really, really good day. Made lots of progress today, got some stuff done, contacts made, confirmation on a job that I've been waiting to get done for years. Still can't get over the job that they have laid out to be done. Hopefully the laser cutting or so, you know, comes close to what they've laid on out, because it'll be awesome if it can. It was sure nice to receive good customer service from the company so far. Over the last few years, I've received bad customer service from quite a few places and companies. You know, before the economy dipped here in Alberta, they were, you know, tripping over themselves to come and sell you a new vehicle or sign you up for a credit card, or if you walked into business, they were tripping over themselves to sell you their product. And now when the economy's dipped and slow, people don't have money, they've lost their houses, you walk into a business and it's like you're inconveniencing them. It's like you're taking away from their coffee time or their solitary, you know, playing card time or whatever they do on their computers, you know. I had several things over the last few years that I wanted to get done that they, different companies, not these guys, but different companies dropped the ball on. Some of them were very high ticket items, and I went out of town to do them. Or plain and simple, haven't been done yet because I didn't find anybody local that's worth doing the job for, you know. So I'll be going out of town for that when that happens as well. But it was nice to receive good customer service from these guys, and I will definitely be returning in the future for other things that I might have to do. The person I'm borrowing the trailer from wants to put a bike carrier on the back of the trailer, and they asked me if they make some kind of a bike carrier that straps to the spare tire, and if memory serves me right, they make some kind of thing that is held on with adjustable straps, kind of like your dog leash, and the rack and the bike kind of flop around like a flounder on your floppy spare tire mount. But I'm not sure if you know, I would trust an expensive bicycle on there or so, but and the bumper that has that trailer has is just a little U-channel that's not very load bearing as it is. So, you know, I might inquire for this company to build a good bumper slash bike carrier mount for the person I'm borrowing the trailer for, kind of as a bit of a thank you for allowing me to borrow the truck and trailer for my vacation this summer. But it's kind of nice to have a bit of a small victory, possibility of a promise made all those years ago finally be kept. And like I mentioned there earlier, you know, the old chapter starts to close and a new one begins. But gonna end her all here. Today was a good day. Feeling a little bit tired, need me a nap. And remember, we do have a fan mailbox. The address is down below, as well as links to the social media pages. And as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's Vlogs. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.